Hello, Lozza Mac.
Hello, Kylie Dixon.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. What's your crack?
It's good. It's good. So, for anyone who's listening, Lozza Mac is a name that I've kind of given that. I like to give people nicknames, don't I, mate?
Yeah, well, I'd love to have a nickname. I quite like it. It's catching on. It's Lozza Mac.
So I will be referring to you as Lozza Mac throughout this. And I've just been chatting a little bit with Laura there because we're good friends. We're good friends now. And it's a little bit strange when you know someone and you're having to try and get information out of stuff that I probably already know. But let's just, for the listeners, can you just let everyone know who you are and what you do?
I can. So I am Laura Maclennan, aka Lozza Mac, with some crack occasionally. And I am the author of Don't Be Silly, featuring Seth and the Rainbow Monsters, which is my debut children's picture book. Illustrated by you, Kylie, in all its fabulous nostalgic glory. But I'm also a teacher as well. So with this book, I am heading in and out of schools and events and things to let our little people be more Seth. Hashtag be more Seth, which is one of the messages of this lovely book. And so I'm an author.
Oh, yes, you are.
I'm an author.
Yeah. I've actually got written down here. So author then.
Author then.
What does it feel like being an author?
When on the days I remember when it sinks in, really, really good. Like, whoa, because it's been something I've wanted to do since I was a little girl, all the while. And it's not that you don't ever think you'll do it. You just think, oh, time ticks on, a life ticks on, and it's just one of them things that you wanted to do when you were little. But then all of a sudden, in less than a year, it's happened because I got big and brave and put my big girl pants on, met you, met the lounge, and bish bash bosh, dreams come true. So yeah, when I think about it, it's really, really good. Lots of the other times it's full scale Ed Sheeran. It's hard work, but it's hard work. It pays off. It's paying off. So yeah,
it is, and it's amazing to be part of. And you touched a little bit about how we met there, Laura, and I think if you can explain that a little bit more, because it is like it's quite magical really how it's all happened and how it's developed and how it's progressed. So just tell us a little bit about how we met and how I became your illustrator, I suppose, and how you became part of the team.
Yeah, well, like I'm a massive, I didn't always used to be, I was sarcastic as you like, and on a good day I can still be really sarcastic as you like, but like I've started to believe in things happening for a reason and stuff, and what's for you is blah 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 blah, won't pass you, and all that kind of magic and voodoo. And I wrote the book, but I'd met you previously in a different networking meeting. And then you set up the lounge, and I was like, yeah, I'll come along. She looks like she's got a good crack and all the stuff. But I just loitered for forever in the background, and the book was already written. Don't Be Silly was already written in maternity leave between night feeds one night with my little boy in bed. And I just happened, I wasn't really active. I was a lurker. I was a lounge lurker.
Well, yeah, so I don't remember you being a lurker.
Yeah, but no, I lurked. I just snuck around in the background watching what was happening. And then I saw your book come into life and your books and things. And I'd been having some stuff in the background in non-social media life with like publishers and things like that. And I'd spoken to illustrators, but one day, literally, not even the time that I'm meant to be on, but I just happened to see you say, I've got my book and my dream would be to be a children's illustrator. And I was like, ooh. So then I wasn't feeling very satisfied for the people that I'd asked. It wasn't really going forward. And I was like, I can't keep putting my dreams on hold while other people catch up with the fact that they want to do theirs. So I sent them a message. I was like, you're on board? And my husband was going, you've got to give them a chance. I was like, no, Kylie, I've seen her. She looks mint. She's got her own book done. She's got a dream team. Like, if they say no, I'm asking her. And he's like, but do you know her? I was like, no. No. Have you spoke to her before? Not directly, no. And anyway, one said yes, one said no. And I think I messaged you the same day and went, here, listen, I've written a book. If I send it you, do you want to see if you want to illustrate it? And I was just in a moment of, it was meant to be. There's a reason I saw your video that morning, because I very rarely catch you live with my little ones. But the reason I saw it, at the time I saw it, and then from there, everything's just fell into place like it's always meant to be. It's really spooky. Really spooky. And also the lounge gets stuff done. It gets stuff done, because I genuinely, if I hadn't been in the lounge with you and everyone else, I wouldn't have done it. I'd still be sitting, I wouldn't be a published author here having this podcast chat with you. It just wouldn't have happened.
And there's what I bang on about all the time, and I think it's becoming more and more poignant, shall we say, the fact that, and it's a complete, this is the God's honest truth. You know, I don't know. Everything that's happened is from sharing. It is from sharing knowledge. It's from not keeping things to yourself and going, this is done it.
100%. And I think it's the work that I had to do prior to that, because there's other reasons why this book wouldn't have been out there. Because I didn't want to write a book where people could criticize it or people could tear it apart, because it's about my little boy. I didn't want it to be torn apart. But equally, I was like, there's something here, and I don't want to sound big-headed, but I think it could be quite good right now if I just like get it out there and get it to the right people. And like, I'll never know if I don't try. So I had to like put my money where my mouth is. I tell other people to go after the dreams and do X, Y, and Z. So I was like, right, you need to do it as well. But it was that sharing. The lounge and the lasses in the lounge just took it under the wing. Considering I was a lurker, didn't comment on posts or anything. I was just like, oh, this is a lovely place to be. And they just took it, you know, they heard the book. I put on the big girl pants. I put it out there on social media. And then they were like, this is great. Can we get this? Can we get this? Can we get this? Can we get this? And I was like, yeah, all right then. And we just went from there. But it is sharing. If I'd never done that, but for whatever reason, what you put out there and what the other admin of the lounge and the members of the lounge was putting out there made me feel safe enough to do it. And the first time we had that meeting in the soul grow your, what was it called, the garden?
Oh, let your soul grow. When we did the
soul grow.
Yeah, first meet up.
I was late. I was late, but I didn't turn
around. Did you?
Well, no, because in the past I would have turned around. I wouldn't have rocked up.
Yeah.
I would have chickened out and gone home. But I didn't feel like that with you guys, even though I'd never met you. I hadn't even met you. You were halfway through illustrating my book, and I hadn't actually met you in the flesh.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That's nuts. And everyone's just assuming we've met. They're like, oh, so you met before? Nah, she's tiny, isn't she? This Kylie. So, but it was so comforting, and everyone was like, oh, it's Be More Seth, it's Be More Seth, it's Be More Seth. And it was such a, well, it's a confidence boost. And when you're putting yourself out there, like all these women do in the lounge, and if you're putting your words out there and your heart out there, you need to know from somewhere that it's going to hit and bounce beautifully, because there's going to be places where it hits and drops like a lead balloon. And it's just such a safe space to go and do that, and also make mistakes. Like if I'd gone in, put my foot in my mouth and said something ridiculous, it wouldn't have mattered, because everyone else has done it. They'd have just been so grateful that someone else talks out the bum every now and then.
And do you think that's kind of a knock-on impact of when I go live, mate? Like things happens, doesn't it? And I'm just like, I remember the best time when I was live once, and a bloke came into my garden trying to sell us fresh fish.
Oh yeah, and that's it. Yeah. It's just it's you roll with it. The women in the lounge are everyday women who have got everyday lives. And I mean, I've been round today threatening everyone. I was like, do not set foot at the bottom of these stairs. Get what you need now, because I'm on air. Do not come in. But we've all got lives, and it happens. But if we're going to be out there on our timelines, but you've got to be confident enough to not worry when that happens, because that's what people want to see. And they're like, oh, well, if someone like Kylie doesn't mind that the fishman's rocking up, then I can come on and do what I need to do. And it's all right. It's all right to drop balls in the lounge, as long as you pick them back up again. You're not allowed to drop balls in the lounge and sit and be devastated that your balls have dropped. You pick them back up, and if you can't pick them up by yourself, or just said balls have dropped, then everyone else can help pick them up for you. It's great. I would not have a book. I wouldn't be an author. I wouldn't without the lounge, without you and the lounge and everything that's come with it, the support, the championship of it. It's just a really special place. And I'm not just saying that, listener. It is.
And Lozza, you've just alluded to your family situation. I think it's important that people know what the real life crack is in the background of people's social. Because sometimes I think, and we've talked about this before, people and it's the whole compare and despair situation, isn't it? Like, people forget that this is my full-time job. Like, I do this full time, and I am blown away by people like you who've got little small humans. So tell us, what's a normal day like, if there is ever one, in Laura's life?
Oh, with as much love for my family as possible. Utter carnage. It's carnage, but like the best kind of carnage and chaos.
Yeah.
It's really having to be organised, more so at the minute, because book 2's coming out. Book 2's coming, and you've got to be on it. So my husband, God love him, so supportive, but sometimes it's like having another child.
How old are your kids? How old are they?
My kids are 6 and one's just turned 2. Seth's turned 2, and we've got the school runs. And then you think because I work 2 days a week in a school, so Thursdays and Fridays I teach year 2, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is time with Seth and around the house and this, that and the other, and then all the craft in between slotted in that time when he has a sleep, if he has a sleep. So it's busy, because it's non-stop busy. School runs, it's lots of working to other people's timescales and then trying and routines, and then trying to get yours fit in between. So it takes discipline. That's why I say it's being an author's amazing, but it's a lot of hard work when you have all this going on in the background. And the compare and despair thing, I get it. I had it last week, and Alexa, who's our publisher, I was like, oh well, everyone else is doing this, and I'm just like, whoa. But she was like, but don't do that. And I know not to do that, but when you're tired and there's lots on you, everyone gets there.
Yeah.
So it is, I think, important. What I've started scheduling into my week is that time to just sit, to relax as well, to sit back, switch off, and just take stock of, right, okay, so you haven't quite done everything that you wanted to this week, but you've done this, and that one's alive and fed, that one's alive and fed, that one's alive and fed, and they clean next week when they go into the various things. So you're doing all right, Lozza, you're doing all right, it's all right. Wash your hair tomorrow, but other than that, fine. So it's busy, but it's worth it. I absolutely know on the toughest days that it's already successful. That's the thing you have to remember. I can't, if I was to sit there going, when this happens, it would make it all much harder than it is. And it's taking that time to remember that it's actually successful now. I published a book. The amount of people in the world who have got a story inside them, and for whatever reason it's not out there yet, is probably high numbers. But I've done it. That's absolutely, and not only have I done it, it's being really well received. And I've got people going, can I have book 2? Can I have book 2? I'm like, steady on, it's coming. It's really, you've got to remember that in amongst the stuff, because I do get overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And well, you know, I've messaged you going, ah! I do get overwhelmed, but it's the resilience and it's the getting back up again. And that's also what I want to do with these books for our little babies, our little children, to give them those tools to be 100% who you are, so they can get back up again, because life's not easy.
So tell everyone about your book, which, by the way,
I know I did.
So this is I did this on the last podcast with Nicola with her book, and then I realised that people can't see. So for people who are listening, I'm holding Don't Be Silly by Laura Maclennan, and it is covered in a massive rainbow with 7 amazing monsters and stuff. So tell us about your book. It's got lots of messages and everything in there, kindness, positivity. What's it all about?
All right, well, originally it was because I just went, I need to write a second book, because I've written Eliza a book. So Eliza's my big girl, and hers is about believing yourself and the power of your imagination. And I haven't done anything with that, but it was in the middle of lockdown, and I was like, I need to write my story. What can I do? And I said to my husband, I want to include rainbows somehow, because he's my rainbow baby. And I was like, I want to honour that somehow, because he's brought so much colour into our lives. And he was like, well, what about monsters? And I was like, oh, everyone's done monsters. Ugh. And then he's like, well, what about rainbow monsters? So then my teacher brain kicks in, and I was like, all right, so this is why they're a different shape. They're a different shape because little children learn shape, and they're each a different colour, partly because of that initial thread of rainbow baby, but into rainbow monsters because you can learn shape, you can learn colour, you can learn counting while you read it. So that was the initial thing. And then I was like, right, every single one of them is different, and I don't like to get too political, but it was an influence at the time that everything had just happened with George Floyd.
All right.
And stuff there based on, would this have happened if he was a different colour? Would this have happened if he was a different shape? There was a lot about his size, and that conception that people who are monsters are evil, and it's not literally not judging a book by its cover. Someone might be tall and 6 foot with tattoos and piercings everywhere, and in our society be stereotyped as one thing. So it played a point there, is that don't just judge someone based on how they look and how you first meet them. Take your time to get to know them, because good people have always got something to offer, and we can share that, and we can make something beautiful with that. Hence the rainbow monsters, each not liking each other at first, and Seth going, don't be silly, heart shape brings this, and yellow brings that, she's a big giant rectangle, and green brings that because it's the shape of a Christmas tree, and together they all build the beautiful tree house. So it's just about accepting people for who they are until they give you reason otherwise. Accept someone for who they are, no matter what they look like, no matter what they might like different music to you, they might be tattooed and you might like not to have tattoos, but so what? It's who they are, it's how they express themselves, and that's all right. And I think our children need to learn, again, unfortunately, that we need to be all right with who we are, and it's all right to be yourself. And if you can't do that, #be more Seth and channel War Seth. And if you see other people doing it or treating you poorly because you want your hair a bit long and you're a boy, or you're a girl and you like the colour black and you like to play with tractors, so what? You might be looking at the next construction engineer. Just embrace them and look for the good first.
And it's being done in a really clever way. I mean, obviously I've illustrated it as well.
Illustrations absolutely make it.
Just touching on that though, Laura, like I have to pinch myself now, because this has catapulted my career. Certainly, I'm now like an illustrator. I've got like so many different things. So it's that knock-on impact, isn't it, with working in like a community? We've got our own like community of authors now,
and it's absolutely nuts.
It grows every month. I mean, we were just at Leeds at the weekend with our publisher. We went to Leeds with our publisher. Wait, what's that?
That was a work meeting and a half. I've got my look. I don't know if anyone can see it, but you can see that. Oh, I can't do it because
people on YouTube will see it.
The bookmates.
Yay! Hashtag
bookmates. Lozza Mac. There we go. Yes. But yeah, it's nuts. It is. There's a whole. I mean, next year there'll be loads of us, because, and like it's not saying they're all doing it because we did it. I'm hoping they didn't all read ours and go, oh, I can do a better job than that. I hope they've been inspired by us to go, actually, it's possible. We don't need, because we're both self-published, 100%. And I did have conversations about that, with people about whether I should just wait for a big publisher to come in and swoop me under their wing and wait it out. And I remember saying to my husband in particular, well, no, I don't want to. Like, Kylie's book is phenomenal. It looks the part. It's brilliant. It's got the eye. It's a proper real book. It doesn't make it any less because I've not waited for someone else to come and do it for me, and quite enjoyed the control I've had over it, to be honest.
Definitely.
It's like that thing of, you've got a choice, haven't you? You can either sit and wait for life to hand it to you on a plate, and then, oh, well, that never happened, I hate my life. Or when you're presented with an opportunity and someone like you comes across your path, and the community in the lounge and the people there, like the Alexas and everyone else that supported it, says, well, actually, you can, and look, we'll help. Why wouldn't you? If it's something you've always wanted to do and you believe in what it is that you're doing?
And I had the same thought process at first. I think it was a bit of, I didn't really understand how to even get a book out there. None of us did we? We found it all out. And I was like, well, you've just got to write to a publisher and you've got to wait and see if they're going to publish your book. I think that's what you do. So I'll finger in there. I'll kind of do that. But what I love about the fact that we've self-published is, yes, it's it is so difficult, isn't it, getting your book? It's a constant, I don't like saying the word slog because I love what I do, but sometimes
well, that's what I meant by hard work. It's constant. It's you've got to keep putting it out there and believing in it as well. And sometimes it's peaks and troughs, There's I had that initial woohoo, can I have a book, can I have a book, can I buy 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 a book, and then it goes ooh for a bit, and you're like oh, and it just went ooh as I was doing book 2. So I've had a proper big crisis of it's going to be rubbish, it's not as good, people are expecting it to be good, blah, blah, blah. I've had a proper meltdowns about book 2 coming out. But then people, as Christmas has got out of the way, and like, can I have a book? Oh, a book's been bought. Oh, books been like 10 books out of nowhere this week. I'm like, get in.
That whole like,
yeah,
gosh, you've done everything yourself.
Yeah,
you feel like get in, and yeah, you're like, I've done it myself. So yes, I think I honestly would shout self-publishing from the rooftops, me, like now.
Well, absolutely, and that's about the others that are now going down that route.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, you know, I good on them for making that choice, but it is sometimes nice to sit and think that because you and I have done this, it has helped them go, well, yeah, no, I can do that. Let's get my book out there as well. And I'm not restricted as I thought I was. I don't have to wait for X, Y, and Z. I can get out there and do it. And they are, and it's going to be amazing. It really is. I can't wait to read them all and have this little library for my littlies.
I've got like a little
library. It's going to be smashed.
Let's talk about your social media journey, Lozza.
Oh, okay.
Because I've watched a complete transformation. Complete.
Have you really?
Oh, 100% from when you did like, well, I'm going to let you tell us about it. And you did like makeup and stuff. I know you might, I don't know if you still do all of that as well. But I'll ask you this question, and I know what you're like. You probably go, Emma, how are you so confident on camera?
Well, I've got a degree in performing arts. That might help. No, I'm an actor. No, I don't. I'm just myself. Actually, it's. I've done it lots. I can remember because I did used to sell makeup and do coaching and things online over the phone and internet way back when I started having a business. And I remember them bringing in the live button. And I worked with Amy Martin. Loads of you'll know that wore Amy, the confidence Craic.
Yeah.
And she was like, you need to. I was like, oh, I can't listen to myself. I'll never listen to this podcast back ever because me
you
voice.
Have to.
I will. Oh, well, I will. But and Amy was like, of course you can, just do it. And the thing is, once you started doing it, it's just like now, like talking to somebody. So do you know what it is? It's trusting who I am. I wasn't as confident probably back in the day because I was trying to work to an audience that wasn't the right audience. You will call it ideal client.
Yeah.
So I guess I was putting on this or I was putting on that to like be who I felt other people needed to be.
Oh, interesting.
But now when I come on, it's particularly about the book, or it's in the lounge about stuff that I believe in, that I'm invested in, that I feel confident in delivering about. But also I know that I'm accepted for exactly who I am. And yeah, I've got this now Lozza Mac nickname, but it's who I am. It's not Lozza, I'm enjoying it. Lozza Mac, little Lozza. But I'm not apologetic. I don't feel I have to apologize for who I am anymore when I go live, because the people that are watching accept me for who I am. So maybe that's it. Maybe that's what you see is. I don't know.
Is there something you can? I find it really difficult when I'm doing one-to-one sessions with people, or I'm just chatting and they're like, how are you so confident? And I can't explain it. I can't.
Well, because you know what I know that this book is a good book, and that the right children and the right adults are going to get this book, and the messages are going to help them. For some it's not, it's going to go over their heads, but for some it's going to help them, and it's going to make them believe in who they are, and hopefully from a young enough age do that. So as they grow confident, they grow mentally healthy, they grow secure in themselves, which I wasn't. I was bullied, I wasn't accepted for who I am. You, when you're doing your one-to-ones, you know, you're talking about stuff that you've tried, that you believe in, that you know. That's why you're so confident about it, because you know that if the person opposite you listens to what you say and implements it, it's going to change their life because it's changed yours. So that's why you're confident. It's true.
It's knowledge, isn't it? It's like, I remember when I worked at the bank, I felt complete imposter syndrome because I didn't feel like I knew enough about it. And I don't think I was interested in it, if I'm honest, banking, let's be honest. But now I go and I talk about something I'm passionate about. That's what it is, isn't it? It's your knowledge and you're passionate
When you're
about it.
passionate and you know what it is, it comes across as confident because you're not acting. And I think in the early days of the makeup and stuff, I had the compare and despair because I was like, oh, I mean, loads of you listening will know how amazing Amy Martin is at makeup. And I was trying to be her for a bit. And I'm not Amy, that's fine.
Shall we just be honest? We've all tried to be Amy Martin.
Well, we've all tried to be Amy Martin. But watching other people's journeys, I've helped lots of other people through doing that become confident in themselves. Like Lozza, I worked with Lozza on the makeup. You wouldn't have the yoga laughter if she'd not done that work with me first. Lozza and Lozza, yay! Because we worked together, and she said in the past, I would not have gone forward and had the confidence to do this if I've not had that time working with me. That's not me taking credit for it. That's her making the decisions and realizing, actually, I can do this and I've got the guts to go out and do this now. So, but I was never confident about makeup. In fact, when I started promoting makeup, I think I got worse a bit because I was trying to do it in ways that didn't work. And actually, when I went back and looked at photographs of me with makeup on, before I was promoting it, I was like, well, you didn't look half bad then, love. What are you doing? Stop freaking out. Just lash it on. But then I just went live and was just like, right, this is my day. It's been mental. Eliza's wanted ketchup 25,000 times on a cereal. Here's some mascara. Crack on. And the more people responded to me being who I was and the carnage and chaos that is my magical life, the more confident I got. But the book, the helping people, this is where my passion is. I'm a teacher and I love helping people grow. Teaching isn't for me, unfortunately, as much as it used to be. And it's not going to be for me much longer, which hurts a little bit. But actually, working with a lounge and working in schools with the book is still me helping people grow.
Yeah. Just
in a different way, and a way that I can feel is more tangible and actually worthwhile. Is that the right thing to say?
See it, you've said it, it's out there.
Well, yeah, it is, because as a teacher, I feel there's lots of stuff at the minute that we're asked to do that's not about the children growing and learning, whereas this, on my terms, on my agenda, is about children growing and learning. The counselling, the coaching and the support out there in the lounge is about women growing and learning. They don't have to listen to what we say, but if they do, they might just find themselves that little bit higher in them, how they hold themselves and how they promote the business. And that's special.
And you talked about your lives there and how you just roll with it on your lives. And
well, I have to. You've been there, I like.
We mostly find your Lozza in your fab group, Seven the Rainbow Monsters. It's lush, and you know what it is. It's great to see other authors who we are all linked to now, because I kind of developed this strategy, right? I didn't sit and go, right, I'm going to market a book now. I just kind of set up a Facebook group, rolled with it, it worked, and people like yourself are picking it up.
Oh yeah, make no mistake, dear listener, I copied what Kylie did.
What? And that's great, right? And
worked. So you know,
be like, if you were this type, this is why the lounge works so well. If you were this type of person, go, hang on a minute, they're copying off what I do. Instead of going, hang on a minute, they're copying off what I do. That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
But why do you think Facebook groups work so well?
I think they work really well. In particular, mine actually got better. And I know we talked about this because it was an open one when I opened it, so lots of people could access it. Mm-hmm. But when I turned it to a private group, that's when mine really started to grow and grow, because that's where people started feeling safe and secure to share work that their own children had done or pictures of their own children with babies, because there's a lot of families out there that don't want their children on social media. So groups are great for that, because you can have them closed in private so people know that what they share there is in there. But you can really build a community. Like, you'll know with people sharing mushrooms, I'm getting people sharing rainbows left, right and centre in there. I'm getting people sharing kindness stories, because my weekly live tends to roll around now kindness stories of just spreading kindness everywhere. But if we share it in the group, then people will know how easy it is to spread kindness. If they're listening to it with the children, you know, picking up, tidying up after yourself, or saying your hair looks nice, mummy, or I love you, just like little pockets of kindness. It doesn't have to be these big gestures. And people are sharing them now if a kindness story. And if they're not sharing them in the group, they're sending me a message saying, this has happened, it's for your life this week. So then I get to come on and share that. So it's a sense of community where people feel a part of something, they feel a part of something. But what I think they really love as well is that a lot of people in the group are also seeing how much this is going to grow, and they like being in from the ground up. They like yeah. So when we were sharing about the book, you know, I showed them the cover first. They got all of the reveals, which they loved. When we were looking at the typeface and the font, you know, do you like this or do you like this? And they loved being a part of it. You know, because of the group, I sent a book to the Duchess of Cambridge. I was like, do you dare us? And like, because people were like, do it. I was like, all right then. So then I got to come back and share a reply, and they're like, oh, get in. You know, they're coming on that journey with you. And then they're telling people about it. So they're bringing more people in, but then they're sending the books out there. So, you know, going into schools, it's great. You know, you're messaging the school saying, I'm a local author, I've got this, this, and this. And you know it's good. But when a parent goes in to the teacher and says, right.
Totally different.
Yeah. And that's where the bookings are coming from, because the parents who are in that group and on that journey going, right, you need Lozza Mac in, rainbows and stuff. And they're like, oh, right, okay. So it's amazing to be a part of something. But it's also another way of edge-shearing and growing your future business. So go for it. Have a group.
Tell us about edge-shearing. And I know
right,
about it.
You know about it. Edge-shearing, another thing I stopped with you get it, and I was like, right, let's rock with this. I'm telling you, it's going to trend. He's going to be knocking on our door going, what you on about? I hope he's not going to charge us for the use of it. He's got billions in time. But like, buy 1,000 books and you can have it back. Edge-shearing is just the graft. What was it, every day for 24/7 for 2 years, so for surfing and fishing, with like next to nothing for it. And then that one fateful day, he got spotted and catapulted, and his best mates were Taylor Swift, which I'm quite jealous of. Sorry, Phelpsy hates her, I love her. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to just keep sharing. We're putting out there. We've got our amazing World Book Day event next week.
We have
creating another platform for people who have got stories to tell, and it's edge-shearing, creating the World Book Day, you know, putting the posts in the group, emailing their schools, going to the events. It's all edge-shearing, and it's not that it's not paying off now, because it is, but it's going to lead to something where we just get to go, look what we did, because this is kind of for us at the minute, isn't it? But the bigger picture is what we're going to do, what we're doing for others along the way. But everyone wants to be able to say, look at the family and go, look, we're sus now. Well done. Crack on. Let's have some tea. Let's go to Marks and Spencer's for some steak instead of Aldi.
And a big part of edge-shearing, mate, is getting into schools, right? And this is a big part of our strategy. And you're starting to get into schools as well, which is fantastic.
Ridiculous. My job for 20 years, I'm absolutely bricking it.
What? You'll be fine, man. You'll be fine. No, I think when I first went into a school, that was the most nervous I've been for it's children, isn't it? Like, they're going to tell you exactly what they think. And I was like,
brutal and honest.
But I did it, and I was over the moon. I remember talking to you after. I was like, it was amazing. It was class. And it's the impact you see from something that you've went in and delivered. So when you're going into your schools and you're taking Don't Be Silly in, as a child sitting there, what do you want them to go away with?
That they can #be more Seth. So that means that they can go away and know that they're allowed to like what they like, wear what they want to wear, play what they want to play with, be who they want to be, and they don't have to be like everybody else. Just because the best friend wants to wear a bow in the hair and says she has to, they don't have to. They can be exactly who they are from as young as they are, and that's all right. You are allowed to be you. You are allowed to be different, and you don't have to be embarrassed about it. Just be yourself, because you are enough. And if we can get them from doing that from teeny tiny, wow.
Powerful. Get it.
Wow. Because I was laughed at all the way that I wasn't enough for how I looked, this, that, and the other. I had no friends at one point, and then I made the best friends. There's no surprise that some of my closest friends now are the ones that I made when I was 11, because you find them people who get you and accept you full force. And I went into a mate's house for tea and looked under a bed. I mean, I'm surprised I was ever invited back. What did I do that for? You know, she looked under a bed, but like, she's still here years later. But I don't know how anyone's my friend, but it took a long time for me to be who I am and be accepted for who I am. And whilst I wouldn't change it because I'm mint, sorry listener if that sounds really egotistical, but you know, I'm pretty cool. Oh, I'm not cool, but I've got some crack. But I want my children, I don't want Eliza and Seth to grow up having that extra doubt. Life's hard enough as you're growing up with stuff, especially in this day of social media. We find it amazing for our business. I would have been crucified if this level of social media had happened when I was growing up. I dread to think where I'd be, but I want them to know that it's all right to be who they are, and you don't have to have fake friends just to feel like you've got to have friends, because the right ones are out there as well and will accept you for who you are, like Seth did. You've just got to give it a chance. And community as well, I think. It doesn't have to be a massive community. It can just be this community of people that together make magic. I think I waffled there, sorry.
If you're listening, school people, get Lozza Mac in your school.
You need it. You need Kylie too, because, well, we've got plans, but that's another podcast. We've got stuff planned. Because if you think Kylie's a bonus and me's a bonus, wait till you get us together.
Anyway, let's talk about the lounge rooney. So you are now
I am.
Part of the team.
I am.
We have a team of 8, and I honestly wouldn't be doing half the stuff I'm doing now if I didn't have you lasses around. And it's about getting the right people around you, isn't it?
It is, and it's meant the world, because you've all accepted me exactly who I am.
Yeah.
Do you know I'm 40 this year? It's took a long time. I didn't know you. I hadn't spoken to you this time last year. Hadn't spoken to anyone other than Amy.
I'll tell you
spoken to anyone else.
What?
But you know, I rocked up. I was like, right, if I'm doing this, I've got to be who I am, because that's what my book says. And the fact you've asked to be a part of that just blows my mind. But I'm so chuffed to be a part of it, because it's something really special. Sorry, I interrupted you there. As you were, Heidi.
I can't remember what I was going to ask now. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
Team of 8 in the lounge.
Yes. What? I know you've touched on it loads, but I would like to know, what one thing do you find is powerful? Just tell us one powerful thing about the community which other people need to know about.
The lounge community.
Yeah.
Absolute 100% acceptance of who you are. Doesn't matter what your business is. It doesn't matter whether you're a beginner. It doesn't matter whether you've been in business for years and years. It doesn't matter if you have been in there and you're on your 5th business because the other 4 have failed.
Yeah.
No one's going to think less of you. No one's going to think you're a joke. No one's going to think you should give it up as a bad job, because you're there, you're Ed Sheeraning, you're doing it, and you've got an absolute army. It's like unconditional. You've got an army of women around you going, right, big you up. If someone posts a problem, you've got people there going, no, great. And relatability. Yeah, I know what that means. Yeah, no, you've got to do what you've got to do, but this is what works for me. And no one feels, even the most anxious of people don't feel scared to come in and be who they are, because they know they're going to be accepted. That acceptance is very, very, very rare. It's very, very rare. You know, I've been in other groups and it's a bit mean girls, like you can't sit with us and clicky and things. And I you know, sometimes I think, you know, if they want people haven't got hoodies, do they think we're clicky? And I'm like, well, no, they don't, because we never give off that air. And it's testament to how many members are there in there and how many people contribute and interact and share and just are involved. It's magic. What's been created is absolute magic. And I think it would be very hard for others to replicate, because it's being done by people and led by you who just went in and said, this is me, I'm unapologetic. But I've tried and done this stuff myself. This is what the thing, and I'm here to help you along the way. And everyone feels like wherever they are on their journey in business, there's a place for them and there's the help for them, but it doesn't matter. And you don't have that compare and despair in there. No one has to look at the other one and say, oh, well, she's done this and she's done that, or she tried that and I tried it and I fell flat on my face. Because it just means that wasn't for you. One of the biggest lessons, I think, is the ideal client. It's that understanding that just because you've got 10,000 people following you doesn't mean that they're the right 10,000 people. You would sooner have 200 of the right people, the quality people, than 10,000 that aren't going to help your business in any way and aren't going to support you because they're not there and invested in you. And I think that's a powerful thing for anyone coming in business to learn. It's not about the amount of numbers, it's about the amount of right numbers.
Yeah, I completely missed that trick from this. Like, I've told you about this in the lounge, haven't I? I didn't know what an ideal client was. I was like, what? What is it? But now, and I think the lounge is a massive example of that, because it is filled with people like us. us.
People like us. Yeah. I was going to start singing then, but I don't have copyrights like for Kelly Clarkson, so I'll just read myself in. I sing, people. There's a song for it all.
We are on the cusp, Lozza, of great things, because we're about to open our next level lounge. All the juiciness. Juicy.
Yes.
Juice is the new word in our
yeah.
And you've got lots of ideas. I'm going to talk about some of them. Tell us what this section is going to be called. Lozza Mac. What's the crack? What is it? Tell us your idea.
Lozza Mac with the crack. What is that? What we're settling on? Is that my corner?
I think we're still listeners.
Lozza Mac's crack. Well, ultimately, because lots of people out there have heard about the topper tokens, so I'm going to still be chucking some of that out there because it helps. But
tell us what topper tokens are. Wait, first.
Hashtag topper token is an object or an animal or something that you see repeatedly. That is kind of like your power thing that's going to guide you. So if you're ever unsure about something, you'll see it and it'll make you know, right, okay, that's the right decision to make, or I've not. That, like, if you say no to something, you're like, oh, should I have said yes? You might see your topper token and go, oh no, I'm all right, I'm good, we're all right. It's like angel numbers and things like that, but everyone's got their own topper token. Mine was red boons, but I think it's red boons / rainbows now.
Got to be rainbows, mate. How are you? When we went to Leeds, that rainbow followed us.
The rainbows just followed us around, didn't they? That church was church with the rainbow in the window. And then
I know.
Yours is obviously mushrooms because they're a symbol of positivity, which is what you bring to everyone. But when you saw them, it was at a point in your life. I mean, you're surrounded by mushrooms, Kylie. How often do you actually physically notice them?
All the time.
Like, but notice them to go, oh, there's a mushroom, and like take it in.
Probably.
There's your peripheral, and then there's your mushroom crystals. How often do you notice them lined up?
Not very often, actually.
Do you notice them when you're about to make a decision or you're agonising over something?
I touch them. I go and touch them.
So topper tokens are coming to the lounge. I've got a plan for them when people find a topper token. But ultimately, I'm gonna be there's a segment, the newspaper's gonna be called It'll Be Read.
Genius, by the way. It's genius.
It'll be read. So the lounge, the next level lounge, is going to have a monthly. I'm going to be the agony aunt in old school. I'm going to be the lounge agony aunt because there's loads of like hurdles as you get into business and you put yourself out there, and loads of barriers that you don't expect, like family not supporting you, or things costing more than you think, or falling flat on your face first time round, or not being followed. And everyone in there will have had the same problems. Not everyone's confident enough about sharing them. So we're going to have an It'll Be Read monthly newspaper. And then there's also going to be a monthly agony aunt share. It'll be read share, where we pick a problem of the month, and then I will come live and say what the problem of the month is, and then everyone on that live gets to give advice and help each other and just generate a real big community problem solving event. So anyone watching along who's got that problem but doesn't really want to talk about it is getting all this wealth of advice from people who have been in that same boat and survived and lived to tell the tale. And then that's going to lead off into personal and group counselling if people want it down the line in business, or just a chat and to know there's relatability out there. So yeah, I'm a bit excited about that.
I can't wait to see the actual
What, do you want some breaking news? Can I share some breaking news?
Yes.
This morning I've ordered me It'll Be Read beanie. So when I do my video for it, we'll have my beanie on with It'll Be Read. So that should be here midweek. And then it's burgundy, branded. Yes. And my profile in the newspaper will be me in my burgundy hat, and I'll wear my hat. And then that might be some hashtag merch that we'll have down the line. But yes, It'll Be Pet.
Class.
It'll Be Pet. So yeah, that's going to be part of part of what I do. It's going to be lots more, hopefully, as well. But that's going to be my little corner and all me little voodoo and stuff.
And something else involved in, might as well get a bit of a plug in there, is the Lounge and Learn session. So for people who are listening, every month we have a Lounge and Learn, 2 of them. So every quarter we have a face-to-face one. The other 2 months are online, because we realise people like different types of meeting up. And Lozza and Amy Martin are going to be running a one. What date? Do we have a date yet?
March the 28th. And you know how I said at the beginning, when you're in the lounge, stuff gets done. Amy and I have worked together for 7 years, and the amount of times we talked about getting together and doing presentations for people in person. Do you know how many times it's happened? None. None. March 28th, people. So it's going to be a in-person networking event. It is vision boarding. So you're going to be making a vision board. It's going to be, you're going to have Lozza from the Laughter Lounge. Do us all a bit of laughter therapy to begin with. You're going to be writing a letter to your future self. Exciting times. I've got one to open in a couple of months that I wrote about 10 years ago. And then there's going to be nibbles and networking face to face. So what we're going to do at the end is we're going to share our vision boards, a way of sharing who we are, because then that's going to be one element of the networking, in that someone on the vision board might say, boom, I want to ride a horse wearing a chicken hat. This is where my brain goes. And someone might go, oh, I've got a chicken hat. And someone else might go, oh, I've got horses that I'll let people ride. Boom, vision board done. More business related, I hope, but it doesn't have to just be business related. It's personal stuff as well. Mine needs updating. Mine down there has got have a baby on and become a publisher.
I was just going to ask you, because I know you're a massive fan. Like what's on it? What is your future? What's on there?
Well, it needs updating. My future one is going to have, what it will be on is are you ready? Personally, we would like a new house. We're bursting out the seams, so that's going on it. I've had this house on my vision board for years and years, so that's getting transferred over. But also I would like more books. So a repeated published author. I would like Seth and the Rainbow Monsters as a Netflix cartoon universe, please. Thank you very much. I would like Seth and the Rainbow Monsters to be characters that people want at their birthday parties. I would like to keep helping change people's lives in one way or another. Couple of stone lighter, but that'll come when the kids are older and I can actually run around after myself and not them. And just magic and rainbows, really. I think I want to get in front of as many kids as possible, so I want to be fully booked by the end of next summer. But that should happen, because Don't Be Scared, a great workshop. Please book me now for Don't Be Silly. Book me next year for Don't Be Scared. Just lots of, it's just, but do you know what I want to be? I want to be a Sunday Times bestseller.
Get it on there.
It's on there. And I don't know if that can happen as a self-published author, or if that would require higher beings in the publishing world. I don't know how I feel with that anymore, because I've loved how we've done it, and I've loved the control we have over it, and the team that we've got. But yeah, that would be a dream, because then that's one way of getting the Netflix deal. Ooh. Just for anyone listening, plushies and bobble hats and merch, pajamas. Watch this space, because some things are going to happen sooner than others.
Oh, I like it. Okay, so let's go into this segment of the show which you've been waiting for.
The questions from the lasses.
We need as well, people listening, I need a jingle for this bit. It's called Why I Lass. Right, why
I Lass. There.
Just something like that.
You can have that.
Why I Lass.
I'll get Eliza to make you one. She's good at the jingles.
Feels weird how she hasn't come in and interrupted you.
Because they're out. I had to make them leave the house.
Ta-da. Is there anyone who you're scared of getting a question from?
Ruth, probably.
That's
Ruth,
what I would have said.
she's postnatal. She's mental anyway. She's like, sleep and added hormones. So
oh, Phelpsy again. Phelpsy wants to know, what is the most random rainbow item you have been gifted or bought?
Oh, right.
Just as you have a ticket. Do you have it there?
Yeah. Well, I bought a chicken. I've got a couple. Hang on, I don't know if this is going to work because of my background, which you can see my chicken, can't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, rainbow chicken, okay.
Oh, there we go. Rainbow chicken. It's because the background's rainbowy. This man. But it's going to be a accidental cheeky little plug. So don't be scared, innit?
What the hell is that? Did you buy that or was it gift?
Deborah, lovely Deborah from the craft fair shop in Chesley Street. When I went in and delivered books,
I can't see.
Dev it is.
I need a photo. Wait there. Let's have it.
Can you see it properly? Or is hang on, let me go to this background. None.
So for people listening, what have you got on?
I am wearing a rainbow umbrella that is attached around my head with an elasticated strap. I thought it was going to be sunglasses. I thought they were one of the things, but they're pretty cool. They're pretty darn cool, them sunglasses. So yeah, this random thing and this, because I don't know if it's a rainbow poop or not. But yeah, there you are.
Sorry, my dad's just trying to come in as he does.
So that's love it. It needs to take off. I'm taking this off because you can't carry an umbrella in shopping bags when you're out and about. Schools next week.
Nice question, Phelpsy.
Well, nice question, Phelpsy.
See, we took a whole hour. We have.
Have we? New wood.
Oh, awesome. For people listening then.
Yes.
Where can we find you?
You can find me in schools everywhere. No, that was me manifesting. You can find me on Facebook in Seth and the Rainbow Monsters, which is the closed group. Come along, answer the questions and join in the crack. Or you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. I won't say what we call it. At Be More Seth, and my Facebook page is at Be More Seth as well.
Ooh,
so
tag everything. All the links will be in the show notes.
Yes, do come along.
It has been awesome, and thanks.
It has been awesome. Well, thank you very much for agreeing to illustrate my book, Kylie Dixon, because you have changed my life in more ways than one. So thanks. And the lounge as well. So thank you very much.
All right. See you later.
Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.